If you'll allow us the ability to shine a bit of light on the great work that you are doing. This is about bragging on you and your dedication of time and energy to this process.
Talent supply and education, innovation and economic development.
You're going to get a sense in just a second of the diverse backgrounds and perspectives everybody has.
Infrastructure and growth leadership, business climate and competitiveness.
It'll also serve us to get that group knowledge kind of pooled together, which is very much a bigger outcome that we want for the entire Caucus system.
Civic and governance systems, quality of life and quality places.
We are identifying factors to track into the future and practice describing immensely complex situations.
Florida has so much promise, so much potential, has done such great things in its past.
I think it's the beginning of a good roadmap to try to put together a strategy for the future of the state.
Well, I knew from the list of caucus members that we're going to have a really exciting group.
It's been very interactive. I've learned a lot. Great interactions with other people and other disciplines across the state.
I think as we go forward, we're going to see a lot of the issues and the problems and the opportunities that we define.
I really knew that together we would be crafting recommendations that would be very helpful to driving Florida's future forward.
It's been probably most important, educational, and will enable me to probably relate better.
And to continue that record forward to do great things in its future, it's really got a plan for that.
And when you think about the caucus and the pillar system, as much as it narrows things down, we could divide this in almost unlimited subsets. You are the best and the brightest. We are building this caucus system based on your views of this. So when I say something, it is not to challenge you, it is to make sure that I've captured it accurately and that I'm representing what you have said so that it can be placed on this board and documented for all time forward. And by the way, this is going to get messy. This indeed is a context map. Each of our sections, except for one, will have a map that looks like this. And what will happen is I will facilitate and ask you and try to draw out of you your responses as we fill this together. We can't get into a strategic planning process and talk about Florida's future until we get some kind of baseline agreement of how bad is it, how good is it. Let's talk about that and get a sense of what the big picture looks like.
Now we're about to embark on this strategic planning, visioning, think out loud exercise.
If we're going to have a great quality of life, continue to have a great quality of life in Florida and enhance that, we need profitable businesses, we need accountable government, we need effective nonprofit organizations.
Well, the parties have over the years adopted these programs to bring in the more centrist or to make them more mainstream programs.
The changing family unit becomes a trend for business, and we have to be responsive to that.
But I'm not sure in our education institutions that the whole idea of business and free enterprise and the whole capitalist idea is being propagated. I don't know.
We're not going to be able to replace or replenish tax revenue. I think it's going to force government to be more nimble and look to engage the electorate and the business community in particular.
Agriculture, same thing to me. But again, I'm just throwing this out more so as we talk about governance structure for our state.
And in Florida, independents cannot vote in primaries. And so that is one argument is that encourages polarization because you're only voting for the left or the right depending on what party you are. And perhaps if we allowed independents to vote in the primaries, you'd have more of a moderation in the campaigns.
We do a lot of talk about how business-friendly Florida is, but when you get down to the level of the bureaucrat, it just isn't.
I'm not really convinced from what I see in the legislature and even in a lot of our large institutions, for-profit, non-profit leaders.
We're very open to letting new people participate. That's a strength that I think we have. And it's also an opportunity to find new and diverse people with different ideas.
The exciting part of all this is that what we hear from our caucus participants is this vision for the state of Florida. idea of 2030 and 2015, of having an idea of what we want to be when we grow up, identifying those targets, and then the recommendations and the big bold ideas of what it's going to take to get there. That's happening right here in 2010, and it's happening because our caucus members are so dedicated to the entire process.